Hello lovelies, and welcome to today's video, which is a very mixed media 12 by 12 scrapbook layout. I haven't done a layout this mixed media heavy in a while. I sort of went the way of pattern papers and things. I still try to get my mixed media out now and then, but yeah, nothing like this. So I was watching a Vicky Booten video and she was making these fabulous watercolor circles. And I thought that would be perfect for this layout of these pictures of my nephew with his first time trying watermelon. So I followed Vicky's technique. I used a lot of water. I sprayed some water on my cardstock first, and then I used a wet brush to apply water in a circle shape on my page. Then I added my watercolor to it to help it blend and bleed. So this is a very wet on wet technique. And see, as you can see, I'm putting the water down first so that my watercolor moves a lot. Now, once I'm happy with my watercolor splodge, I'm getting my heat gun out because I want to dry it before it keeps moving and spreading like the top one up there. But this also works really well if you want to blend two colors together. Obviously, follow your color wheel. Don't blend colors that don't work and will give you mud. But if you were to blend different shades of green or blue or anything that really works, wet on wet will give you a really nice bleed mix type blend. But I wasn't really in the mood to blend. I was going very watermelon-y colors. So I've got a nice bright green, and then I'm going to bring in some pink with my inks later on. So I have my circles, my heat gun. I'm drying as I'm painting simultaneously, and then I'm flicking some splatters around. So I'm just using not Dina Waker, they're Jane Davenport watercolors. I have a mixed media cart that sits next to me. It's a very big, sort of like a big version of a Rascog. I got it from Kmart, and technically it's called a kitchen trolley, and I'm pretty sure it's in one of my craft room videos back a couple of months. And basically all my mixed media goodies sit there. The theory was I put them close to my desk and I'm more likely to use them. It is true, I am using more out of my tub, not just my go-tos. But this is so I poured out my watercolors specifically so I'd get these blendy, watercolory looking splodges. I love this circle stamp set. I don't have a clue where I got it from, but this is the pink that I'm coming in with. So I have a whole bunch of Stampin' Up! Inks, and I believe this is Melon Mambo. And, I figured it was kind of perfect. It's a melon. So I'm going in with lots of circles. Now I've gone in with this outline, and then I wasn't really happy with this, but I make it work. So I am second generation stamping. So basically it means you stamp off the ink once and then you stamp onto your project with the leftover ink. You could do this multiple times, especially with some really good inks, but I didn't like it. It was too light, which I thought was clever of me to have different depths and variation of the same color. But the good thing I like about Stampin' Up! Inks, they are water reactive until they're dry, I believe. Actually, no, I don't. I've never tested it, so I don't know if when they're dry they are water reactive. But I got my little paintbrush and I'm going in with some water, and it's sort of bleeding out that circle line, and I'm much happier with that once I've done that. I'm much happier with how it activates that ink, gives it a nice smudged, watery, bleeding feel, so I'm happy with that. I'm coming in with another stamp and some Granny Apple Green ink, again a Stampin' Up! Ink pad. When we moved, I made sure to put my Stampin' Up! Ink pads next to me on my desk because I have so many of them, and I wanted to use them more. So putting them next to my desk definitely made sure that I did, because like I've said many times before, if I have to get up to get something, chances are I'm not going to do it unless I have it in mind before I start. Once I start, I don't really want to get up. Here I'm asking for my husband's opinion because I felt it needed just something more. I felt like it needed a bit of black. And I wasn't sure if this stamp here was going to be too much, too bold, too, in your face. But it actually works really well. I'm glad my husband went with this one. He suggested this one. It just gives it a nice pop of contrast. Like I said, I'm going with a whole bunch of circles right down this section here. I've mounted my photos on some white cardstock to make them pop off my background, and by putting my photos down roughly where I know they're going to go, I can see if I need to stamp in a few other areas so that you can see it and it pokes out from my photos, which is exactly what's happened. So just auditioning my photos where I want them to go and then filling in the spots where I think they're going to be. I am putting some craft foam behind my photos to pop them up, give it some dimension, and then I'm going to embellish. Now, I'm very excited with how I decide to embellish. Are they crooked? No, the layout's crooked. I was going to say, are my photos crooked? No, the layout's crooked, but that's okay. I go with, so I think that was Ruby, actually. I think I was trying to do this when they just got back from soccer training, and she really wanted to paint. Okay. This is where I decide to come in with a stamp set. Now, when my sister sent me these photos, this is my nephew. He is 6 months old, and he's just starting to try new food, so it's mostly fruit. And this was his first time trying watermelon, and I knew I had a stamp set that would be perfect for this. I actually bought this stamp set to do a layout probably similar in background to this, of a picture of Ruby when she was a baby watching Hey Bear. If you have a toddler or a small child, you know what I'm talking about. Hey Bear is literally, it's dancing fruit. It is a YouTube channel that has this really basic beat and dancing fruit on the screen. And when I saw this this stamp set, I knew it would be perfect to do a layout and a background full of dancing fruit. But I have not yet done that. And that plan was, you know, she's almost 3 now, and this was when she was little. But I knew it would be perfect for this layout, and I knew it had a watermelon on it. I tried with the Melon Mambo, wasn't a fan, it was too dark. So, or was that Lovely Lipstick? Might be Lovely Lipstick. I then go in with Sweet Sorbet instead. So that's why I've stamped it twice. Unfortunately, lining up was not my strong suit, so I do stamp them a couple of times. Yeah, so these are 2-step stamps. You can stamp, you know, the rind and then the fruit, and actually then there's faces as well. So I'm just stamping them again, just so I could line them up better. And then I'm going to fussy cut them out. Once I have fussy cut them out, I then chop up one of them. I'm not going to make you sit through all of my fussy cutting, but I use one whole, but then the other one, I'm going to cut up into different slices. So even though it's the same image, when I cut it up, it's going to look like obviously different size slices to use as different embellishments. So that's what I love about stamped images. You can really make them your own. I do also get this stamp set comes with little faces, so I put some faces on the little slices as well, which I thought was pretty cute. So I get 3 little slices and 1 big chunk out of these stamps, and then I'm just going to embellish my photos with them. Like usual, when I do a very busy mixed media background, I keep my embellishing very minimal. Yeah, I love my mixed media backgrounds, so when I do them, I really tend to not cover them up all that much. So I'm going to stick them down with, these are the faces that come in the stamp set, so I'm putting them on my little slices. And then I'm going to embellish my photo. I'm going to put the big slice on one side, and then, yeah, go follow that rule of 3, that triangle, that visual triangle around my layout, and use my slices to embellish. I really do love this background. I was really happy with how it turned out. So, do you ever get an idea in your head and just it doesn't translate to the page? This actually did. This translated perfectly. This is exactly what I saw in my head with the green and the pinky red. This was exactly what I envisioned, so it translated to the page perfectly. Only downside is because I'm using my ring light, you get a glare on my photo, but you'll see it at the end. But yeah, so I'm using that visual triangle with my embellishments, scattering them around, and then I'm going to use some rhinestones. I'm going to also make my title nice and basic. Num Num in these black, these are my favorite black alphas. I wish they'd bring them out again. These are my favorite thickers. I love them. I was actually surprised that I had a set that still had enough letters in it that I could do my title. They're all getting down to the basics, so it's getting hard to use them. But I do love that they also come with the little chevrons, like the little arrows. So I like to use them as little sprinkles in my clusters as well. And then I'll add my rhinestones. I think, I'm not 100% sure, I've done a few layouts recently, but I think off camera I add some sequins. I do also need to add some journaling on this layout and write down how it was his first time having watermelon, but I really got to remember to journal more and add the date. That's something I really want to do with my layouts much more lately. But yeah, that's it for the layout. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll be back real soon with a new one. Bye for now.